Hello everyone, the 316 here with another DC Direct Mcfarlane Page Punchers review. This time I have the Kingdom Come Superman and the Infinite Frontier Supergirl figures. Both of these retail for, I think, $27.99. Stupid Taros. Anyway, both figures here are part of the Page Punchers line that also includes Starman and Damage. I did win the Mcfarlane EQL for that, so expect a review of those two red platinums in the future. One thing I want to point out with the boxes, though, is that they did change the boxes. So I have here a Platinum Deathstroke, and if you look at the top, you can see they have a molded, hook there for the pegs. And as you can see on these boxes, they're completely flat with one inserted into the back of the box. Both of these come with a comic book. Of course, Superman here comes with the JSA, I think number 10. These are reprints, of course. These are not original. And then we have the Infinite Frontier Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm excited to crack into both of these figures. Of course, I like to show them in the box beforehand. Supergirl doesn't come with a flight stand, but Superman does. But anyway, let's go ahead and open these up. Here they are out of the packaging. Let's take a look at their accessories. Starting off with their cards here. This is the Page Puncher design of cards. It's just the image of them on their comic covers. On the back here, you got a read up for Kal-El and Kara Zor-El. Pretty cool. Into the binder they will go. We'll start off with Supergirl's accessories. She comes with a basic DC figure stand. I don't really use them anymore. She also comes with a pair of fisted hands, if it would focus on those. They're painted hands. I wish they would do molded plastic hands, but they don't. She comes with a karate chop right hand and a holding hand for her sword, so you can recreate that cover image. It's pretty easy to get the sword in there, practically no issues, and you can have her hold it high above her head. Pretty neat. I probably won't be using that sword on display. I'm not sure where I want to put her in my display shelf since I have the Target exclusive version. Superman here comes with a pair of fisted hands, pair of these stupidly oversized flight hands, and I believe these ones are molded plastic. More of this, please. You see the flight stand there? He comes with one of those. And that's their accessories. I wish Supergirl came with a flight stand, but compared to the two, she has the most new tooling, so I'm not saying it's completely understandable, but it makes sense. Superman here, I believe the only new things on him is the cape and his head sculpt. Since I just talked about him, let's start off with him. I really like the colors here. I think they're a good match to that comic cover. I do have some issues standing him up. I'm not sure why, but this is Kingdom Come Superman, one of my favorite designs of Superman just in general. I've always liked that slightly more minimalistic look on the logo. He's painted nice. I like the darker colors. Not as dark as, Man of Steel, but I like this. It's nice. And it is a reuse of the Earth 2 body. Of course, the only new things here is the cape and the head. The cape here has a span of that wide. It is a brighter red color on camera. It looks a little dark. I'll do some comparisons later, but really the main thing here, it's the only new thing here really, is the head sculpt. And I do like the head sculpt. I don't think it quite captures the look of Kingdom Come Superman. Mostly because of the very minimal gray paint they put on the sides of his temples there. It's a little too subtle. I need something a little bit brighter, a little bit more. If you look at the card cover here, you can kind of see what I mean, how much brighter and whiter it is. I think that the expression's good if it's going after that, style from that comic cover. He's got the little, jerry curl coming down from his head. Pretty good. The cape, it's wired. Looks, you can do whatever you want with it. Have him draped over one shoulder. You can push it all the way back. You can have it splayed out. It is not wired at the bottom, unlike Supergirl's, which we'll take a look at. Articulation-wise, I've already done articulation for this figure. The only thing I'll show off is the head. So the head, you're really not going to be able to get him in a good flight pose. You might need to give him a different neck peg. Looking down, it's not too bad. And then pivot is exceptional. That's actually really good for Mcfarlane figures. And of course, it can swivel any which way you want. No big deal on the articulation. Supergirl here I'm more interested in. The last time we got a Supergirl figure was from the Target exclusive one 2 years ago. pretty sure. Sounds about right. It's mostly reuse of that figure, but there are some new things here, mainly the skirt and I believe the upper thighs. Again, I'll take a look at the comparison, but also, as I said, she does have a wired cape at the bottom portion as well, which I'm not always the biggest fan of these wired capes at the bottom. Like, it gets a little bit more articulation, but I prefer kind of how it just lays flat like on Superman back there. But, you know, if you want to have it like she's in a wind tunnel, you could easily do that. So, you know, that's nice that there is a wire down there for people that want it. For me personally, I just prefer how the capes look like on Superman back there. The logo here, unlike that Target exclusive version, is painted in base colors, no metallic, which I do prefer. The metallic colors are nice, but it just didn't look right to me. Now this skirt piece, it's pretty big. It's also flowing in one particular direction. I wish it was more static, but it is a big skirt. Just like the Target exclusive version, this thing is huge. Like, yike. Big yike. And articulation-wise, you're not going to get too much out of it. Maybe a little bit more than that Target exclusive version, but, you know, splits-wise, I mean, why would you put Supergirl on the splits? But that's about as much as you're going to get here. And then kicking, it's a bit more than the Target version, I'll give it that. Backward, it's not too bad, but yeah, not a lot of articulation there. Also, this midsection joint is like really deep in there, so trying to get it to turn, you're really going to have to, I wouldn't say force it, but you're going to have to get in there and like really, you know, twist it if you want to get it in good positions. The upper torso portion isn't as bad, but do be warned that if you move this section, this portion of the plastic does get warped. I'm not a fan of that. I wish there was a bit more clearance on that part. Let's see, the head sculpt here is the other new thing. And I do like this head sculpt a lot more than the Target exclusive one. It is painted just as well, I would say, but I think that what really does this one for me is those eyes, the expression. You know, this looks like, you know, angry Supergirl like we've seen in the, New 52 Rebirth comics where she becomes a Red Lantern. Hopefully we get that figure. I'd love a Red Lantern Supergirl. I can't get enough of the, you know, the Green Lantern type characters. Red Lanterns, yellow, doesn't matter what color. I don't have every Lantern figure they released. I'm missing Effigy and Platinum Sinestro, but otherwise I have every other one. I know, tangent, but she also does have the House of L logo on the back of her cape. It's a little high up and her hair gets in the way of that. So I kind of wish that, you know, it was down just a little bit lower so we could see it. Maybe that's accurate to the comic, but because the hair gets in the way, you can't really see it. You know, if you have her in a pose like this, like she's about to fight Superman or another big bad like Darkseid. But I like this figure a lot, and I do think that this is mostly an improvement on that Target exclusive version. These thigh pieces I thought we've seen before, but I'm pretty sure they're new. If they're not, let me know in the comments, but they look very familiar. And it is painted all the way up there into the crotch piece. So, yeah, I do, you know, they didn't have to paint all the way up that part, but it's appreciated. So, articulation-wise, I already showed you what can happen up in the hips there in the midsection. Really, the only last thing I want to show is the head sculpt. Practically no up, so you can't really get her into good flight poses. Looking down's great. Pivot. To this side's good, to this side, non-existent. And if you want to turn the head, you are going to have to position her head down a little bit. But if you want her looking straight up, you're going to have to bend back the torso there, which I think this looks fine. Personally, for me, I think I'm going to put her on a flight stand, and Superman's going to get to stand up just normally. Yeah, this is mostly a reuse of the Catwoman Nightfall body, at least the arms, the midsection, and the lower portion of the legs and feet. Everything else is pretty much new. I think the that weird skirt insert piece is old. They really didn't need to include that. They could have just put a regular Mcfarlane style crotch piece in there and then have the skirt be able to be, you know, malleable, molded, but they didn't do that. And there's the back portion of that. I didn't show that off. So let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons here. Starting off with Superman. He is leaning forward a little bit, but he stands Just about 7¼ inches tall. And then Supergirl here stands at almost 7. She's closer to 6¾ I didn't get too many figures out, but I don't have the Kingdom Come Batman, but I do have the Jed Garrick Flash they released, and I do like how these two look together. I might put them together on display, but personally I prefer that Platinum First Appearance Superman with the rest of my JSA. And this guy never likes to stand up, so this is that's what you're gonna get there. Colors work well. Oop, he just fell. Ah, well. And speaking of that Platinum First Appearance Superman, there he is. It's what I've been using for my JSA display. Pretty cool there. I'll keep him in frame, why not? And let me get that Target exclusive Supergirl figure in here. I don't take her off the flight stand, but I think I like the old skirt a little bit better, but I prefer the design on the new one. Articulation-wise, I think the new one is definitely better. The colors, I'm actually surprised. The Target exclusive one has darker blue, whereas this new one has that brighter blue, which I much prefer. This Supergirl, the new one, would look good with the Atomic Skull Superman 2-pack version. So if you're interested in that, I would get that one to pair with this Supergirl. And of course she doesn't have, a wired cape, so hers just lays kind of flat, but I might swap them out. The red is also just a touch more orange here. This is just a touch more like a pinky, just a little bit. It's darker, but this one has a little bit more orange in it. I don't particularly mind. It's not a big deal. It's nice to have more than one figure per character, and I could always customize these. I could take the legs from this one, pop them over here. I could take the head from this one, put it over here if I wanted to, but I definitely think this is a market improvement on that one. I may actually use this one as the movie Supergirl figure from the 80s? I think it was that long ago. I can't remember, but let me do one last comparison here. So, Kingdom Come Superman next to the live-action Superman we've gotten from Mcfarlane. If I can stand him up, we got the 2-pack Cavill. Again, he doesn't like to stand up on his own. Alright, on the stand he goes. Get his foot in there. Dang it, Cavill. Hopefully he stands up on my shelf. But then we have Christopher Reeves here. And before I finish out this review, I'm going to do a bit of a head swap. It should be pretty easy. Good. And then there you go. The skin tones don't match, but it's such a shame what happened with him, but it would have been really cool to see Kingdom Come Christopher Reeves Superman. Like that would have been so cool. I know we got Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman, and I might actually get a custom head sculpt if people are making those on eBay. But I'd really like to see that. So if anyone knows of a Brandon Routh Superman head sculpt, or just a Brandon Routh head sculpt in general, let me know. I wouldn't mind, buying it and maybe doing a video on a custom of it. But let's go ahead and get out our usual suspects here. We're going to start off with Atrocitus. Of course, she fell over. There we go. And the gold label Arkham City Batman. For relative scale, we have the Jazzwares Halo Spartan Yoroi. Our wrestling figures, the AEW Unrivaled Samoa Joe. And the Mattel WWE Elite 100 John Cena. Who are you rooting for at WrestleMania this weekend? Let me know. Starting off with our 6-inch scale, we got the Marvel Legends, I almost said Spectacular, Scarlet Spider-Man, the Star Wars Black Series Retro Card Boba Fett, G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Outback, his backpack's on the desk, I just don't want to get it right now, the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Black, and lastly we have the Jakks Pacific Sonic 3. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video review of the Page Punchers figures. Of these two, which one's your favorite? Personally, for me, I wish that Supergirl came with a flight stand, but otherwise, I think she's my favorite of the two figures. Kingdom Come Superman is just a little disappointing, but to be fair, I don't know what else they could have done with this figure. I think if the gray paint on the temples was a little bit brighter, it would have looked better. I might end up doing that myself, getting like a silver Sharpie. Actually, I have one right here. I could do that. But, he looks great, and I'm sure he'll look great next to Kingdom Come Batman. I just don't have that figure. But let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.